Hi guys, it's Karlee, and this is your full body mobility routine. You won't need any props for class today, so just roll out your mat and let's get started. If you don't have time to do this video right now, go ahead and save it to your watch later playlist and join me when you're ready. Alright guys, we're going to start down on the mat. Now if you've watched my other two videos about mobility, you'll know that I've kind of said mobility is where strength and flexibility meet. So just to go over a little bit more what I mean by that is if I have the flexibility to lift my leg up here while holding it with my arm, that's great. But if I'm not holding my leg up, I only have the strength to lift it about this high. So this is really where my mobility is, even though my flexibility is higher. So that's what we're working on in these videos, is kind of finding our strength at the end range of our own motion. So we're gonna start in a child's pose today. So just bring your hips back to meet your heels and let your spine go long forward. Now we're gonna make this a little more active. So bring your right hand on top of your left shoulder and rest your forehead down on your right forearm. Our left hand is going to stay driving into the mat, and we're going to inhale, open up the side body towards the right. So you'll notice you won't open that far. That's okay. We're just warming up into the T-spine here. And exhale your right elbow back down. So inhale. Open to the side, your right elbow will lift off the mat. Exhale down. 3 more here. Inhale, open. Exhale down. Last 2. Last 1. And we'll switch to the other side. Right arm forward, left hand on top of your right shoulder. Rest your forehead down on top of your left forearm. Your hips stay back on your heels, right arm stays on the ground. Inhale, open to the left, keep pressing your forehead into your left forearm. Exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale down, nice and slow with control, even on the down motion. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Release your hands. Take a breath. Rock up to tabletop and extend your right foot out to the right. So my right leg is straight. My toes are going to face forwards. So now I'm working into the inner thighs from this tabletop pose. So double check that your shoulders are directly over your wrists. We're gonna cat-cow here in this inner thigh tabletop. So inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts. Exhale, round and curl, push the mat away. Now I know you probably won't have as much mobility in your arch as you do when your knees are both in. That's okay, we're just working into our end range of motion here with the inner thighs being nice and long. We'll take 1 more here. And neutral spine. We'll shift our weight back and forward, nice and slow, again, warming up the inner thighs. Now you might even send your hips all the way back towards your left heel. That's just if you're feeling really open. You don't have to do that. We're finding our end range of motion. And I'm using my strength to pull my hips back forward, not shooting my momentum here. So strength through the hips is gonna help me lift back up. We'll do last 2. Last 1. Pause at the center. Bring your right hand behind your head. Inhale, open to the right. Now you do have a lot more mobility here, I'm sure. Exhale down, right elbow comes down by your left wrist. Inhale, open, rotation in the spine. Exhale down, right elbow towards your left wrist. Last 2. Last 1. Back to tabletop. Step your right knee in. And we'll take that to the left. Left leg extends out to the left, toes point forward, the same direction your fingers are. Cat-cow, inhale, drop the belly, lift your tailbone, lift your chin. Exhale, round and curl, push the mat away. Keep moving with your inhales and your exhales. Last one. Neutral tabletop. Shift hips back and forward. Hips back and forward. Even if you're only moving an inch or so, that's okay. You're working with where you are today, and your mobility can increase over time. So the stronger you get and the more flexible you get, the more mobile you will be. But of course, remember, everyone's anatomy is going to be a little bit different too. So depending on the way your body is structured, you can have greater or lesser range of motion just naturally. One more here. Now left hand behind your head. Inhale, open up to the left. Exhale, left elbow towards your right wrist. And inhale to open again. Exhale, close. Belly button pulls into your spine. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Again. Exhale, close. Back to tabletop. Plant your left hand down. Step your left knee in. Very good. Now tuck your toes and sit your hips back onto your heels with your toes tucked here. So this is going to stretch out the backs of our feet, a little bit into the ankles maybe, and especially the toes. So it might not feel like much at first, but a few breaths in, you'll be like, okay, I feel it now. So stick with me, use your hands to make sure even your littlest pinky toes are under. And we'll distract ourselves with a little bit of upper body mobility. So inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, reach up and over to the right. Give yourself a nice little stretch through the left side body. Inhale up to center. Exhale, left wrist or left hand grabs your right wrist, pull up and over to the left. Inhale up to center. Exhale, hands to your heart. And plant your hands down, tap out the tops of your feet. And sit your hips back onto your untucked toes now. I bring my hands back behind me, and then option to lift your knees a little bit off the mat here. We're just stretching through our ankles in the other direction now. You might feel this a little bit into your shins or even through the tops of your feet. If you're really feeling steady, you can also lift up onto the tops of your toes just for a breath here. And gently release. We'll come all the way down to the belly here. So drop your pelvis to the mat. Our toes are untucked. And reach your arms out in front of you. We're gonna do a little Superman with the upper body. So we're gonna keep the tops of the toes on the ground for this, but I do want you to squeeze the glutes just to protect your low back here. Reach your arms out in front of you like Superman. Your forehead stays nice and long down in line with the rest of the spine, so not crunching the neck up or tucking the chin too much, just a long neck here. Inhale, lift your upper body off the ground. Tops of the feet stay on the mat, glutes are squeezed. Swim your arms back by your sides and inhale them forward. Nice little strokes here. Inhale. Exhale, even as your arms come forward, keep your shoulders away from your ears. We've got 3, nice and slow. 2, 2, can you lift your chest a little bit higher? Squeeze the glutes. 1 more, nice and slow. Hold your arms out in front of you. Last thing here, cactus the arms. Pull your elbows close together by your sides. Neck stays long. Last 4, cactus arms. Reach forward. Exhale, squeeze. Last 2. Last 1. Reach forward and release your chest down. Bring your arms like crocodile pose out in front of you, like you're gonna rest your forehead down on them, which you can, but for the sake of the mic, I'm gonna keep my chest up. Now, we're going to do the lower body. So squeeze the glutes, inhale, lift your toes off the mat as high as you can, while also keeping the legs not too far apart and not squeezed together, just about hips distance. We're going to curl the toes up towards the sky and exhale them back out long. So inhale, your knees are staying off the mat the whole time. Exhale, curl toes up, knees stay off the mat the whole time, extend them long. Last 3. Last 2, slow and controlled. Last 1, hold at the top. Bring your knees out wide and your feet together. Last thing we're doing here is a pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Stay with me. 3, 2, 1. Extend your legs long down the mat. Shake your hips side to side. And we'll press back up towards tabletop. Whew. Very good, guys. Okay, come to a seat on the mat. We're coming back to that 90-90 position if you watched my hip mobility video, but we're doing a slightly different exercise. So left foot or left shin is about parallel with the short edge of the mat, and right leg is parallel with the long edge of the mat. And check that your knees are in line with your hips here as well. Now they might move a little bit, that's okay, because we're gonna find a bit of momentum in this exercise. So I'm going to swish my hips through center and face the other direction, ideally landing in that same 90-90 pose. Now if you want to use your hands to help you find this rotation, you absolutely can. Otherwise, you're trying to do this with no hands. And we've got a few more of these. Move nice and slow. So now we have internal rotation in the back hip, external rotation in the front hip. And we're moving through this pattern to teach our body how to move nice and controlled. 1 more like this. And we end back facing the left leg. Now, if that was very challenging, you're gonna stay with that. Otherwise, we're going to add on a hip thrust as we come up onto the shins. Again, ideally with no hands, but if you'd like to use your hands to help you get this movement in your brain and in your body, put your hands down. It's totally okay. Otherwise, we're using the strength of the hips to pull ourselves up into this position. Sometimes I kind of pretend that I have something invisible that I'm holding to pull me up, and it just helps my brain work a little bit better with this movement. So you can pretend I'm at home holding your hand, helping you up. Let's do 2 more. This is really, really good for healthy hips. Last round here. Awesome job, guys. Very good. Bring your left foot into your right inner thigh and extend your right arm by your right leg. Inhale, reach your left arm up and over towards the right. I'm not collapsing the chest forward here. I'm staying nice and open towards the side. I'm gonna reach back up, left hand plants behind my left hip, stargazer, press onto the left shin, find a back bend and reach your right arm back. We drop the hips back down slow. Inhale, up and over, side bend. Stargazer, plant the left hand behind the left hip, press up onto your left shin, back bend. 2 more like that. Finding lateral flexion in the spine. Stargazer. Last one. And switch out the legs, right foot into your left inner thigh. Left arm is down long by the left leg. Inhale, reach up and over with the right hand, staying nice and open in the chest. Come up, plant the right hand behind your right hip, press onto your right shin, back bend, look back towards your left arm. Controlled, drop the hips, lateral flexion of the spine, side bend towards the left leg. Plant your right hand behind your right hip, back bend, stargazer. 2 more. Side bend. Stargazer. Open through your heart. Squeeze the glutes. Last one. And drop the hips. Excellent job. And now we get to lay down on our backs. So plant your feet, bring your arms out forward. You know we're not getting down that easy. We're going to use the control of our abs as we roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. So find a nice C curve in the spine, tuck your low belly in. And we'll take our time getting down. Shoulders away from the ears. Low back hits the mat. Mid back hits the mat. Upper back. Finally, the shoulders. Excellent. So the soles of your feet are on the mat. Your knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands down long, as if you're going to reach your fingertips towards your heels. They might even graze them. Now inhale, lift the hips up into a little bridge pose. Don't think totally like a yoga bridge where you're really puffing the heart up towards the ceiling. Drop your chest down a bit, almost like you're gonna find a straight diagonal line from the knees towards your shoulders. So your hips are gonna be higher than your chest here. Now stay with this position. Lift your right foot off the mat, drive your right knee in towards your chest. And with control, step your right foot back down to the mat. Left knee lifts in towards your chest. Back down by bridge pose. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your glutes up, chest down, so your abs are working too. And we're marching it out. We're not here for too long. Stay with me. Find that diagonal line. Even though you're working really hard, your hips stay high, chest stays low. One more each side. Last one. Drop your hips to the mat, windshield wiper your legs out side to side. And hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Excellent. Spinal twist. Drop your knees to the right. Gaze over your left arm. And we're going to create some circles with the left arm. So swing the left arm up overhead. Turn your body towards the right as you go towards the right. And then circle your left arm all the way back. It's just making a big circle here. So it's kind of like we're coming into fetal position and then back out towards spinal twist. Last one. Draw your knees back up through center. Drop them over to the left, spinal twist. Gaze over your right shoulder. We'll circle the right arm up overhead to the left and slowly back out to the right. Just a couple times here. I recommend doing this video every other day if you really want to see an improvement in your full body mobility. And pause, bring your knees back up through center. Last thing we'll do here is happy baby, just to rinse all of that hard work out. So draw your knees down towards the mat as you reach up towards your feet, your ankles, whatever you want to grab here. Drive your tailbone into the mat, pull your knees nice and low. If you want to get into the hamstrings a little bit, you can bend and extend one leg at a time. And then we'll rock our way back up to a seat. And you did it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you love this kind of content, download our app called Yoga Plus, and I'll see you there.
Hey everyone, Chelsea here. I would love to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will gain access to an incredible collection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app today and get a free 14-day trial.